Hello friends, my name's Emile and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 2. Today we are continuing on with our Let's Play. This is episode 14, and in today's episode we are doing the 80s sports car cup thing. Anyways, for that we need an 80s sports car, and I've kind of already picked the vehicle that I'm going to be using for today. It is going to be a used Mazda RX7 from 1983. There isn't really much choice when it comes to these vehicles. I actually had to go off and do a bit of the special license before I could actually get an 80s car that I actually wanted to use to show up. In the end, it sort of came down to a little bit of a choice between, I believe it was like an RX-7 and a Skyline. I ended up going with the RX-7 because I like RX-7s. But anyways, not really going to do too much in the way of upgrading to this. To be honest with you, I have no idea. I actually just came in here to upgrade it because it's not like the first race is going to be too much of a challenge. Another reason why I picked the RX-7 is because it can actually go into all 5 races, because yes, this is a 5 race championship here. And as you can see, the first race is 197 horsepower, and then the rest of these are like 390-ish horsepower. So we're going to do this first race with the car virtually stock, and then I'm going to throw some more upgrades into it for the next 4 races. So that's the plan. To be fair, I could have got a more powerful car. I could have just used like the Micro or something, but there you go. Anyway, we are going to start with Trial Mountain. Okay, here we are on the grid, and it appears they have bought cars pretty similar to this one, to be perfectly honest with you. We have some MR2s, some Sprinter Torinos, usual sort of stuff. Yeah, I was kind of like considering maybe an MX-5 or something like that for this, but nah, the MX-5 hasn't really got quite the power that I wanted it to, or the adaptability, I should say, of the RX-7, because this thing can probably handle the 300-ish horsepower throw into it. Speaking of the RX-7, there's another one there. I also apologise that it's not in a particularly interesting colour. I'll see if this has got race mod for it. I don't think it has. It's got orange wheels, by the way. I don't know if anyone's noticed that. It comes as standard with those orange wheels. I don't know why. I literally don't know why it does, but it does, so whatever. We've got an RX-7 with orange wheels. It doesn't really sound like an RX-7 either, to be honest with you. We all know Gran Turismo doesn't really have the best sound department, and yeah, this car definitely isn't one of the better ones. I do believe some of the newer RX-7s actually kind of sound like rotaries. In the newer games they sort of do as well. Although admittedly, I've started recording this just after playing some Gran Turismo 6. I actually won a Mazda RX7 concept car thing. When I went to start it up, it sounded exactly like a Corvette, so yeah. That's something interesting, but yeah, I'm going to get off that. So yeah, the RX-7, yeah, we used an RX-7 earlier on in the Let's Play. I believe it's like episode 4, I used a GTC thing. I'm using another using another RX-7 because why the hell not? It's my show. I'll use another RX-7 if I want. To be fair, this model is pretty far away from the model you saw in that. I believe that was like a 99. This is a 83. So there's like a 16-year gap between these two vehicles. I do have to say, in the Mazda dealership itself, there are some very, very tasty offerings. There's another RX-7 which I kind of want to use, but at the same time, well, to be fair, we are actually going to have to use another RX-7 at some point, hint hint. But yeah, there's a 90s RX-7 which I was super tempted to use for one of the next episodes, but I've decided against that just because I don't want to fill this thing entirely full of RX-7s. Although that being said, I've at the moment been filling this up with basically just British cars all the time, so yeah. Also noticed, by the way, 3 laps in a race. Yeah, I know, this is pretty revolutionary from what we've had. For the most part we've been doing 2-lap races. In fact, I think since the start of this LP it's been 2-lap races, but the 80s Sports Car Cup, ooh, that brings it up to 3 laps per race. I have no idea why. It's only this one series that does it as well. It's the longest, it is technically tied for the longest series in the game, the 80s Sports Car Cup, and it has 3-lap races in it as well, just to rub salt into those wounds. So this should be a bit of a longer episode. Not quite sure how long it will be. I can't imagine it running much over 30 minutes. But it's definitely going to be a longer episode. And then after this, we've got 2 more races to do. And then we're actually done with lineup 3 because there's only 4 events in lineup 3. And we've done one of them already. We're going to do one in this episode. And then the next 2 will be done in the next 2 episodes. And then after that, we move on to lineup 4, which is actually the final lineup of the special events. So by episode, I think it's 22? Yeah, by episode 22, we're actually going to be done with the special events, which is pretty cool. Not really sure where I'm going to go from there. I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to do the rallies. I'm tempted a little bit to go into the nationals, although I think I might leave the nationals till near the end, just because I kind of want to do that all in one bunk. So the nationals, the internationals, and finally the world championship. I kind of want to do that all in one bulk, just so there's a bit of consistency there. So I don't know. We may go on either to the rally races or one make races next. If we go on to the one make races, then yeah, we're going to be there for quite a while, because there is quite a few one-make races in this game, mostly in Japan, not going to lie. I believe, how long did Thunder's LP? In case you're wondering, Thunder HC Central, he did a Gran Turismo 2 Let's Play not long ago. I highly recommend checking him out, he is fantastic. He does like group LPs and they're pretty hilarious. But yeah, I believe when he did the one-make races, they lasted for like 30 episodes, and he's not going to do what he didn't do what I'm going to do, which is essentially split each and every single one-make race off into its own episode. So for me, one-make races are probably going to be in the region of about 50-60 episodes. So yeah, buckle in for them. They'll probably go up 2 a day at that point. To be fair, I'm actually kind of looking forward to it, because once we get into those, it will just be super short episodes. They'll be like, what, 5-10 minutes long each. I'll probably get 2 of them up a day, hopefully. That's the plan anyway. But there you go anyways, we win 7 grand and we got a new car. Let's go and see. Okay, let's head over to the garage and see what we have got. We have got a Mugen Fiero. Pretty cool looking car, actually. I actually kind of like that. It's a Civic sedan, isn't it? Did we not unlock one of these earlier on, though? Have I not got a Mugen? No, okay. Apparently I haven't. Anyways, before the next race, I am going to do some much-needed upgrades to the RX7. By much-needed, like, the car isn't that bad. It's just, yeah, it's 345 horsepower limit next, and I don't think a car with 200 is going to cope particularly well. So yeah, let's just start by doing some weight reduction. Probably stick all of the weight reduction bits on it. I don't think I'm going to go super softs on this one. I'm thinking I might go with, like, I don't know, do I want to go super softs? I probably do, but yeah. Either way, we do have a racing car modification. Oh wow, that actually looks pretty sweet. I like that a lot. I'm not sure what colour. I'm going to go with that. Yeah, definitely. I'm going to have a racing RX7. I really like that. That looks fantastic. Right, yeah. Anyways, turbo, because of course turbo is needed, because it's an RX7. You can't have an RX7 without turbo. I would like to go with the stage 3, but that'll conflict with the horsepower limits. So yeah, we won't go for that. We will grab an intercooler, because that puts us up to 322 horsepower. I will also grab the computer. I'm going to grab race brakes as well, just because that's probably a good idea to grab some race brakes, considering this car is running 1983 used brakes. So yeah, let's grab the computer for 326 horsepower. Come on, I want a bit more than that. Increase the displace. No, you can't do that. Obviously, it's a rotary. Unless you added like 3 rotors to it, maybe. 336 horsepower and 333, that's a lot cheaper, so we'll have that. Right, 345 horsepower limit, please. 344, 31, okay, I'm having that. I'm going to push like the horsepower limits to its absolute extremes by the looks of it, which is fine by me. And you know what, I said I wasn't going to do it, but sod it, I'm doing it, it's my show. I've said that about twice now. Anyways, yeah, so the RX7 is now a super duper god, because of course it is, and we are going to move on to our next race, which is going to be at Special Stage Route 5. Okay, we are on track, and well, I may have overkilled this Mazda just a little bit. We are guaranteed a win, pretty much, but let's see how our insane Mazda RX-7 actually performs against all of these cars, which were not as powerful as I kind of was expecting them to be. Oh god, the Toyota Starlet. So, I've got a bit of a story about the old Toyota Starlet there. Before I actually started this LP, this specific GT2 LP, I actually had another one going, a GT2 LP. You guys will never see that. I deleted the files off my computer long ago. It was a bit rubbish. The quality wasn't particularly great because I was recording it off of my PlayStation 2 instead of a PS3. Yeah, it wasn't great. And essentially, in that LP, when I did this championship, I did this championship in like episode 4. That's another reason I scrapped that LP, because I kind of wanted to do everything in an order of sorts. You know, sort of like I wanted to do the special events in one bulk, but I wanted to do them all in somewhat a specific order, save for like the Historic Car Cup, because that was being a bit of a bitch. But yeah, I wanted to do everything in an order, so that's why I sort of scrapped that one. But in that Let's Play I had, I believe it's like a Toyota Supra Twin Turbo. That's what I was using for these events. They had like 336 horsepower. It's actually probably a little bit more powerful than this Mazda. And for whatever reason, the Toyota Starlet would always be the fastest car out of that bunch, like no matter what, and it would be stupidly quick, and I'd end up getting overtaken by it on the last lap of every race, and it was really, really, really irritating. A lot of editing went into that particular one, but yeah, that's why I'm sort of being a bit wary of the Toyota Starlet. In case you're wondering, my RX-7, it's okay. There's a bit more understeer than I would like, and the suspension's a bit wallowy. More than that, it's pretty good. It's very, very quick. It looks fantastic because it's got pop-up headlights like every other RX-7, because the RX-7s are all amazing. And yeah, that's really all I've got to say about this car. I believe this is the model RX-7 that I did a race build on, or sorry, a street racer build, I believe, on Forza Motorsport 6 a while back. It was pretty good from what I remember. It was a really good car, actually, from what I remember, even if it did look a little bit silly because I put a bit of a body kit on it and everything. But yeah, I believe this is the same generation. This one might be a bit older than that car. I believe that was, I think it's an 85 in Forza. Pretty cool car though, that RX-7. Pretty insane to drive, and it makes an absolutely fantastic noise. Unlike this one, which makes a very... Actually, you know what? I take back what I said earlier. This does sound a little bit like a rotary. I'll give it that. I don't know. Maybe... Bear in mind, like, I turn my TV down to basically minimum while I'm recording this, just because of, yeah, the microphone will pick it up otherwise, and yeah. So, oh my Christ. Oh, no, bad. I took way too much speed. See what I mean? That Toyota Starlet, it's the car winning this race, apparently, against a bunch of S13s, and I believe there was even an R31 Skyline in there. And yeah, the Toyota Starlet is the car winning, because of course it is, because that's how cars work, right guys, right? To be fair, there was a Toyota Starlet in the Toyota dealer. I was somewhat tempted to take that car, ironically, for this, but I decided against it because why would I want that in my life? But anyways, RX-7 has been coping pretty well. Hopefully I don't spin it out on this corner. I think that was more my error than the car's error. Usually when like you spin a car out on this game, it's not usually your fault, or it's just because the car's a bit dopey. In that case, I think that was my fault. I took way too much speed into that corner and just ended up spinning out. Need to be a bit careful through here. Yeah, I would kind of like a slightly stiffer shocks, but at the same time, it isn't affecting the car all that much. If it becomes an issue in the later races, I will probably go ahead and put stiffer shocks on it. but it doesn't seem to be an issue at the moment. Anyways, I finally left the Toyota Starlet for dead, and we are going to come across the finish line now. There we go, excellent. A pretty decent car, pretty decent lap times as well. So the Toyota Starlet came in second, Sylvia in third, Toyota Corolla Terreno in fourth, Celica in fifth, and the R31 was apparently 9.5 seconds behind. I've got a feeling that car should have won this race. Just saying. Anyways, we get 7 grand, and of course, as normal, we get a new car acquired. Let's go and find out what it is. Okay, let's head over to the garage and see what we have won. We have got a Mugen CRX3. You know, just like that one that I won in the historic car cup. Can these things just leave me alone, please? Thank you. I don't want you. In fact, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't want you either. You can go away as well. Right, anyways, there we go. Let's get rid of those, and let's head back over to the special events, where we are going to be doing a thing next. What thing are we going to be doing? We are going to be going to Deep Forest for the next race. Okay, we are on track here at Deep Forest Raceway, and I'm surrounded by Celicas. Apparently, they are the cars which are surrounding me. I've just noticed my race mod got rid of my orange wheels. Oh no. There's a Toyota Starlet. I bet that wins the race. There's a Nissan Micra Super Turbo, which I hope wins the race. And there's a third generation RX7, because, yeah, this is an 80s event and 90s cars show up. To be fair, I was actually going to do the same thing. I was kind of hoping the RX-7 Cabriolet would show up in the showroom so I could have a go with that, but the only one that showed up wasn't, well, it was a black one, like this car, and I didn't really want the black Cabriolet. I really wanted like a red one with like a cream roof or just something silly like that. I don't know why you'd want an RX-7 Cabriolet, but that's apparently something Mazda sold you, at least for that generation of RX-7. Which, from what I remember, didn't last for very long, considering the, well, the oldest, right, the RX-7s in this game, you've got the 83, then there's the 90, and then there's the 91, which is the FD shape. So I have no idea how long the FC actually lived for. I can't imagine it was very long, though, considering all I see in games is the 1990s model. So, I don't know, maybe I need to go and do some research on that, but it's pretty balmy when you consider, like, the FD lived out for a while. I believe the FD was around for, when did they stop making that car? 2002? And then they started making it in 91, so, I mean, that body shape was around for 11 years, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, in case you're wondering, favourite RX-7 is the FD Spirit R. I do like that one. I really like the one we actually used in the Clubman Cup, the JTC, I believe it was, or something like that, or CTJ, or something weird. That one was pretty nice. There's also one in this game actually called the A-Spec. That was the one I was actually looking at in the car dealer. It's a bright yellow one, and it looks pretty cool. It's got some like strange front lights on it. It's got the Mazda Speed body kit on it, which usually I wouldn't like, and from the front I do have to admit it looks very odd, but like from every other angle it looks pretty fantastic. The RX-7 is a great car, and it appears a commenter actually agrees with me. Someone commented on these videos and said that they really like the RX-7, so yeah, hopefully you're happy there's another RX-7 in this LP. And yeah, I really do like the RX-7. I don't know if I'd own one. I mean, for me personally, I would probably go for the RX-8, just because it's a bit easier to maintain, and, well, you can actually buy one for a reasonable price. Unlike the RX-7s, which are all just ridiculously priced, and yeah, you've got to... oh, and by the way, with the RX-7s, another issue, at least here in England, I'm not sure about other places in the world, in England, you cannot find one of those vehicles that has not been Fast and Furious-ized, I guess. That's like my biggest issue with the RX-7 and the Supra and stuff, and even the Skylines. You just cannot find one of them things stock in the UK. Oh god, because they just get ruined by people. I mean, I guess that's one of the reasons I like the 3000 GTs, because you can actually find like a Mitsubishi GTO 3000 GT, whatever you want to call it. You can actually find one of those that haven't been messed with, and yeah, I mean, I kind of like that, because that could be a possibility maybe in like several years. But I mean, I do love the RX-7s. Don't think I'd want to own one though. There's just too much like, maintenance and stuff. And I mean, the RX-8's got the same thing, but the thing with the RX-8 is they kept making them until like 2011, so not all of them have been treated badly. For the most part, the RX-7s are basically bought by kids who try to be Dominic Toretto and then end up blowing the rotors up on them, because of course they do, and then you have to find an engine replacement and all the rest of it. So yeah, that's sort of my issue with the RX-7s. Anyway, thankfully the Micra appears to be winning this race, and the Toyota Starlet is in 4th, and there's a few sleekers. Not going to wait for them all to finish, because that'll be a bit boring. So anyways, there we go, we won the race at Deep Forest. We get 8,000 credits, and of course we get a new car acquired. Let's go see what it is. Okay, so let's head over to the garage and see what we have got. We have got a car. Yeah, obviously. We've got a Mugen Civic Type R. Fantastic. Oh god, what is that? Look at that front bumper. And oh god, the rear bumper. And just everything about that car's horrible. You've ruined an EK9. God damn it. I like the EK9 as well. I've detailed this several times. But yeah, that EK9, no, that could go to the scrap heap, buddy. Anyways, we head on to our next race of the 80s Sports Car Cup, which goes to Seattle City Course. Oh, Christ. Yeah, see you on track. Okay, we are on track for the 4th race in the 80s Sports Car Cup, and, well, the competition has stepped up slightly in this race, admittedly. There's an R31 Skyline, which is probably going to lose, a Supra, a Sprinter Torino, which is moving over way too fast, a Sleeker GT4, and I bet that's a Toyota Starlet. Oh wait, no, it's my car. Oh, hi, my car, which I've just crashed into. So no Starlet in this race, which means I can actually get a relatively easy victory, hopefully, because the Toyota Starlet in this race would be disastrous, or even the Micra Super Turbo, which turns out to be pretty quick as well. As much as I love the Micra Super Turbo, because it was our first car and it was fantastic and it was amazing and I loved it. Like I said in that video, as much as I was hazing like the Micra Super Turbo a little bit, the Super Turbo, I actually kind of like it just because it's supercharged, and I like supercharged cars. Pretty much any car that's got a supercharger on it, I'll like it usually. There's a few exceptions to that rule, obviously. Camaros, in big capital letters, Camaros, because yay, GM, you done fudged up. Yeah, anyways, notice how the Supra is not doing particularly well. If that's a 91 Supra, I am not going to be happy, just saying. Anyways, the RX-7 that we've got is winning, but the RX-7 that we've got, yeah, I don't need you to win. You can come in second. We can always get a, is this the FB? I don't even know. Yeah, we can get a 83 Skyline 1-2 if you want, but I mean, my conditions for that is that I'm the one in 21. Sorry, that's the wrong theme song anyway. I don't know. How can you even do Brock Lesnar's theme song? Dun 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 dun. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that happened. I don't like The Undertaker, so I don't care. Right, anyways. Oh god, no. As soon as you see like the front wheels change locks, that's when you know there's going to be an issue and you're going to spin out. But thankfully it didn't happen there, which is good, because if it did, that would be tragic. Oh god. To be fair, the Super Softs probably don't do too well in Seattle, just because as soon as you land, like, it changes your direction pretty quickly. So yeah, the Super Softs probably aren't a good idea for Seattle. As far as the Seattle circuit goes, I don't mind the Seattle circuit. It's okay. For me, this is probably my weakest track in this game, and probably the track I like the least in this game. Oh, bollocks again, cock. Yeah, this is probably my least favourite track in the game. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Grand Valley either, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, the full version of Grand Valley, in this game it isn't too bad, to be fair to it. But in the later Gran Turismo games, that track just... In case you're wondering, for me, I much prefer shorter tracks. Just because, I don't know really, I just like the short tracks, and that was one of the reasons I really like GT2 and think it still holds up, at least for me personally. These days, is just because it's got a lot of shorter tracks on it, and all the races are relatively short. I mean, like, the longest race you can have in this game, bar endurance races, is 5 laps. I mean, in modern Gran Turismo, that's like just most of the races, so... Or even in modern Forza, you know, as much as I like Forza, I'll throw that under the bus. The races are too long in modern Forza, and there's too many long tracks, and it's just awful. It's awful for people like me. Oh my god, don't do that again. Please don't do that again. There we go, around there. Right. As long as I beat him over the line, I'm not too fussed. I'm actually kind of... Actually, I'm not surprised at all that RX7's winning. Like I said, for whatever reason in these 80s sports car championships, the cars that should be the slowest are the quickest. I don't know why, it's only in this race series that it actually makes sense, like... Oh god. Like, if a GT40 showed up in this race, that would still probably win, just because, GT40 is OP, but apparently not as OP as the cars that show up in the 80s sports car challenge. I love it how they try to convey the short course goes over there, even though like the barriers and everything are dead low res. It's fantastic. Do not look at the scenery on the tracks in to be fair, I'm not even gonna try and judge this thing on graphics, because you're an idiot if you say about the graphics in Gran Turismo 2, because it's obvious they're not very good. Compared to modern games, I mean, I've always said this game doesn't look nearly as bad as people try to make it out to be. Like, people who say, oh, all the cars are made up of 12 pixels. No, you can see more than 12 pixels on the side of my car, mate. I believe it's made up of like 400, which isn't much more many, but still, whatever. Anyways, I won at Seattle, surprisingly actually, considering it looked like I was about to get boned by an RX-7. Either way, everything wasn't too far behind, and the Celica was the slowest car out of that pack, apparently, which is fair enough. Anyways, we've won, which is good, and we go to the credits, where we get 8,000 of them, and we get a new car acquired. Let's go and find out what it is. Hey, guess what? We got a new car. Let's go find it. Anyways, yeah, let's go to the garage and see what we have got. We have got a Mugen Integra. All of the Mugens are coming out today. And that one looks like a Ricer's Paradise. That wing is the most tragic. I don't know what's more tragic, the wing or that silly thing it's got. Either way, it's getting sold because it's ugly. So anyways, we move on to the final race for today, for the RX7 GT Turbo, which has been serving me quite well so far, even in that Seattle race, if it did screw me over a little bit. And we move over to the final race of today, which is at Tahiti Road. Yay! Okay, we are on track here at Tahiti Road, and unfortunately it looks like the Toyota Starlet may have appeared. So here comes the issues. Yeah, it is a Toyota Starlet. It does look similar to the Micro Super Turbo from like a distance. They're both boxy. Also, I apologise for not changing gear there. Please tell me that's not an Auto Zam 8. Because if it is, I'm not going to be happy. What is it? Oh, it's a RX7. For some reason, it really looked like an AZ1 from a distance. If that thing was winning, that would not be good. Oh god, okay, yeah, this is where my suspension really could have done with an upgrade, apparently, is around this track. Oh god, there's so many bumps. This is one of the tracks that I really wish they'd bring back for Gran Turismo, because Tahiti Road is fantastic. It really is a great track, this, I love it. It's probably my favourite track in the game. I mean, sorry, not Trial Mountain. Midfield Raceway is pretty close, like, I adore Midfield as well. But, I mean, Tahiti Road, man, this track is fantastic. Although my RX-7's understeer is starting to take the piss a little bit. That's just not understeer into that pit wall, which we don't. That's the understeer test. If your car understeers into that pit wall, it's a bad car. However, it appears my speed around Tahiti Road is showing in this particular event because I'm winning by quite a bit. Yeah, like I said before, I was actually playing around with the special licenses before I start recording. And the first one is at Tahiti Road in the Mini Cooper rally car. And I actually basically dominated that event. I missed out on gold a little bit because I believe it was through the corner coming up. It just got a bit too much understeer. I was trying to push it a little bit too hard. But I'm still pretty quick at Tahiti Road, all things considered. Like, you give me a quick car around here and I'm pretty good. I mean, in the micro... Yeah, there you go. That's sort of what happened in the mini thing. Except I hit that wall a bit harder. Luckily, the game didn't disqualify me for that. Gran Turismo's a little bit weird on what it counts as disqualification, what it doesn't. Especially with this one. I mean, I got charged with being off course when I was doing Laguna Seca. Before I tried recording this, I was doing the Laguna Seca one. I didn't finish it because I couldn't be bothered. But the Laguna Seca gold license, special license, I got charged for cutting or going off course. Bear in mind, like, off course means all four wheels are off course in this game, and it's because I cut the corkscrew like a tiniest little bit, and I don't know any other way to take the corkscrew, and I got done for it. So yeah, whatever. Either way, I am leaving the competition for dead. See, you can see how much quicker I am at this track than I am at Seattle. Like, we've got a similar sort of grid to what we had at Seattle, and I am just dominating them. Maybe it's the... I bet that's the style at winning. It could be the RX7 now. I mean, that RX7 did look quick. But I am willing to put money on the fact that that's probably the Toyota style at winning at the moment, because of course it is. The mighty Toyota style, it is the real killer here. Here we go, through there. Almost understeered into the pit wall, which would not have been particularly good. And across the line. Pretty decent time there, actually, 107.178, that's pretty decent. Anyways, yeah. Sorry, see what I mean? Toyota Starlet is winning. Of course it is. The mighty Toyota Starlet Turbo S. There you go. If you want to beat this game, that's all you need, Toyota Starlet. Or if you want to beat the 80's race, whatever. Anyways, we get 10 grand and we get a car. I know what car it is. I bet you guys probably know what car it is as well. But either way, you know what's going to happen here. You just know it. Anyways, let's head over to the garage and see what we have won. I already know what we've won, but just to make sure, it is a Skyline race car. Yeah. 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 Anyways, yeah, this thing's pretty mental, as most of you probably know. 555 horsepower, 960 kilograms. I've basically won the game at this point. I could just use this car and win the rest of the game, but I'm not going to. In fact, am I going to use this car at any point? I don't know. I'm going to keep it in the garage either way. It's got a silly spoiler. Anyways, friends, that is it for today's episode of the Gran Turismo 2 Let's Play. I do hope you've enjoyed. And as always, thank you all very much for watching. My name's been the Real Emile, and until next time, farewell.